You know, Trinidad is really amazing. I mean, we have all these little hidden gems all over the place, and you can access the fort here for free. It's open to the public. Ooh, what's up, Trinbago Vibe peeps? Welcome to another edition of Trinbago Vibes. Yes, behind me is the signal station here in Fort George, and that is what we are doing in this one. So we'll be exploring around the fort itself, you know, giving a little bit of the history of the fort, and of course checking out the beautiful panoramic views you would get up here. But first, let me show you how to get here. Trinbago Vibes. We're kicking it off at Long Circular Mall, and we're heading west on Partner Street. Now I'm going to speed up this for a bit until we cross Bonds Road Junction. Yeah. And the reason why we're starting at Long Circular Mall, it's because it's an easy point of reference, you know. But if you want to skip ahead to Fort George Road or even to the fort itself, you can do so via the chapters in the description below, as half of this video is literally the drive to get there. Now this big junction is Bonds Road, and we're taking the road right after the substation. Now this road here is called George Cabral. Anywho, we'll be swinging right into Fort George Road here, or the road right next to the St. James Cemetery. Now this is heading up a hill, right? And part of the road is not too righteous, meaning that there are some potholes, you know, a drain to cross, and some indications of recent cleared landslides, yeah, or landslips. Plus, it's relatively narrow, and there are curves as we're heading up a hill on a mountain kind of thing, right? All in all, this is just to say to take your time when driving up here. They may also have peeps, you know, walking up and down the hill, and that's another reason to drive with caution and care. At this point forward, just keep driving straight, Dread. Don't deviate at all. You'll come a time where you'll have to do a 180 twice. Yeah, just keep driving straight until then. By the way, if you live on this side, let me know in the comments below. And that's the first and last parlor we just passed. Yeah. Yup, remnants of a landslide, which would have occurred here, and there's another one higher up. Well, besides this one here, but it's a smart move to build a retaining wall. Anywho, cue music. This is where the 180 I was telling you about, right? So after you take this big turn, we're just a few minutes away. there isn't any kind of properties after we made that 180 turn, yeah, as is mainly vegetation. But right around this bend is a nice preview or view of the west, so to speak. Alright. And at this point, you are making another 180, right? If you continue straight, you will end up in Cumberland Hill. Anywho, welcome to Fort George, established in 1804. And there's enough space in this car park for about 12 cars. Yeah. Alright, as we walk, I'll read a bit of the history that greets you in the car park. But first, you gotta take in this view. And it's a cloudy day. I'm sure it'll be more amazing as we go up the hill here. Yeah, into Fort George itself proper. Yeah, but for now, wow. Now, Fort George was considered a major defensive position on the island, but it never really experienced any military action. And it was apparently so secure that business peeps would store their records and valuables here in times of potential war. Probably World War II, I, thereabout, yeah. That's how, like, around that time, the 1800s, how secure this spot was. There are so many benches and places you could come and picnic. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's no really food spots in or around the area, so you should walk with your own. And if you do walk with your own, take it back with you or dispose of it in the garbage bins that you have around the fort itself, right? I would recommend to get something at Long Circular Mall or something in St. James itself, you know, drive up here, have what you get up here, whether you get something to eat or drink or both, yeah, and just enjoy this view. There's enough benches here for a good bit of families or people or, you know, company. Right, regardless of what may be happening here in Trinidad and Tobago, just note, right, there are certain things you can still come out and enjoy. You don't have to live in fear. Yes, we have a good bit of crime happening in the country, but still, when you see these kind of things here that you could come, you could visit, you could come bring food, just chill, just lime, you know, just enjoy this view and not worry about like getting robbed or getting anything. The guards is be here from 9 to 5:30, you know, and then there's a night shift here, so you're safe more or less, relatively speaking. Of course, I mean, never say never, but still, according to the people in the area, here be quiet, here be safe. So come out, you know, take it in if you can. If you are visiting Trinidad, I do recommend, and you are up on Port of Spain side, I do recommend coming in and take in this historical site. Alright, so this is the view. Say we're sitting down on this bench here. I mean, apart from the street blocking your view from the savannah and everything and downtown, look at that. The Gulf of Paria. And that's Diego Martin side, Westmoreland side, you know? Wow. You have to be careful when you're walking here, because a little slip up. Well, you have that fence down there to catch you, but still, you want to, you know, fall. There's another bench around the corner here to give you this amazing, breathtaking view. Now, this is just on the second level there. We haven't reached up to the top yet, so we're just walking right around. Well, thank God, you know, the weather started off well, but if there's one thing here in the Caribbean, here in Trinidad, you never know when things will change up, how the weather will change up. Trinbago vibes. All right, let's read a little bit, you know, the history of Fort George. Situated northwest of Port of Spain, about 340 meters, that is 1,120 feet, and overlooking Port of Spain and the Gulf of Paria. You know, this site was originally established in 1804, It was built under the direction of British Governor Major General Sir Thomas Hislop and called Fort Fiji. It was later renamed in honor of King George III of Britain. Yeah, the construction of the fort was undertaken by enslaved Africans, and Jonas Mohammed Bat, a prominent leader among the African Muslims, was appointed as foreman by Hislop. Although some remnants of the original fort, such as the low walls, the cannons, is still around today, the main building on the site was constructed in 1883 as a signal station. Its purpose was to receive flag signals related to ship traffic from the North Post Wireless Station, located at the head of the Diego Martin Valley to the west, overlooking the Caribbean Sea. The Fort George signal station would then communicate these signals to the Harbour Master Office in Port of Spain, situated southeast of the fort. Yeah, this station at Fort George was designed by Kofi Nitti, an Asante prince who had been brought to Trinidad from West Africa by the colonial government after British conflicts with his people in 1873 to 74. And during his stay here in Trinidad, he was assigned to work in the Public Works Department. So that's the history of Fort George. Okay, so there's more information here within the house. Prince Kofi Nitti was described as being quick and unassuming in manner with a great interest in stamp collecting. Right? Kofi Nitti left Trinidad in July 1886 for Sierra Leone and later went on to live in England where he died. Yeah, I just can't get enough of this view. Like, it's one thing when you go up like Chancellor or Mount Hololo on top there and you see the view, but here in particular, you see the whole landscape. You even see the Carney Swamp. You can see that is probably Point Lisos, and on a clear day, you can see further down to Point 14, to Citrus, to even Icacus, where we visited earlier, this year. Trinbago Vibes is amazing. So in the back here, there's actually some washrooms, male and female washrooms there. Shout out the doggo. And yeah, Trinbago Vibes. It's such an amazing thing. Like, this is the first time I'm actually visiting up on the hill here, right? And the views of the downtown Port of Spain, of the capital city of Woodbrook, of St. James, coming across to West Moorings, even going into Diego Martin and part of Carnage and thing going down there is simply amazing. Now the weather, a little iffy, so and so, because on that side there, you swear rain is coming, and on this side here, the sun just came out, so that's pretty amazing. Like, the views alone here is, I can't really describe it. It's just, I'm in awe. Wow. Well, you let me know for yourself what you all think about this Trinbago Vibes. Oh, what is this tree here? By the way, you all could tell me what this is. Let me know in the comments below. This kind of fruit. Yeah. Well, not really a fruit per se, right? Have a good bit of them up in this tree here, boy. Chad, I just can't get over this, like, awesome view. Now, this would have been the stone used for the fort, the original stone back in the days, And this is the top of the fort itself, not the signal station. We're on top of the jail cell here. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. But that there is the Diego Martin Valley. Yeah. Dread, again, the beauty of our island, Trinidad and Tobago. I love it, you know. What is this? Look at this small little cannon. I have no idea. You know, they came this small. Imagine these cannons being fired from here. Now, the fort never see any action at all, any military action. But it would have been interesting to see how far these cannons would have reached. I'm sure the maths nerds on the channel could calculate the angle and everything based on how the cannons are positioned. You know, like, let me just say this was fired, this was still operational and fired. That building down there again, mash up for sure. I guess all there was reclaimed land, so all here would have been part of the sea. So yeah, that is the next thing to note, why these cannons, even though they're looking like they're destroyed down there, back in the 1800s, down there would have been water, would have been part of the harbor, you know, would have been part of the coastline. So yeah, Trinbago vibes. So we mentioned the jailhouse earlier, and this is closer to the car park than the signal station, the white building, yeah. So let's go get a look inside the prison at the fort. Alright, minus the modern stuff currently being stored inside here, I believe most of this is part of the original fort, you know, back in the 1800s. Now this is the other side of the jailhouse, and this is where the washrooms were probably at, yeah. By the way, I met a subscriber to the channel, and check out what he showed me.
With this spyglass, I think used to be on.
Oh, so these are actual. Yeah. Oh yeah, look.
The green notch.
The nuts. Yeah, boy, these rifles that they use.
Yeah. All wrong on the next side.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. See how we learned something there? Wow, thanks for that, man.
Yeah.
Rifles, barrels, boy. Huh. Hey boy. Look at that. Dread, you know, if this man did not tell me, I wouldn't realize, like, these were actually the rifle barrels that they cut and use, you know. Wow, you learn something every day. Careful with this chipness, you know. We don't want to invade your property, people. But yeah, Trinbago vibes. So, like I mentioned before, heading up there is Cumberland Hill. So, when we did the 180, we came up here to Fort George itself. But if you continue straight on top, that's Cumberland Hill. Yeah, and that's probably going way up. So, just a point to note. So, this is Fort George, Trinidad. Now you know how to get here. If you didn't know before, I highly recommend you all come check this out at least once in your lifetime. Taking the views, taking the Gulf of Paria, you know, our capital. Behind us is the signal station. Bring up some food, have a picnic, you know. Come and enjoy. This is open to the public, like I mentioned earlier in this one, for free. It's between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So yeah, so hope you all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Gone later. Dread, like, I'm not realizing there is a lantern or a lamppost hanging in the upper part of the, you know, the signal station. That's kind of cool. Trinbago vibes. Yeah. Amazing stuff.